Hi everyone, it's Miss Shaye. Today we're going to be reading the book Giraffes Can't Dance. Giraffes Can't Dance. Gerald was a tall giraffe whose neck was long and slim, but his knees were awfully crooked and his legs were rather thin. He was very good at standing still and munching shoots off trees, but when he tried to run around, he buckled at the knees. Now, every year in Africa, they hold the jungle dance, where every single animal turns up to skip and prance. And this year, when the day arrived, poor Gerald felt so sad, because when it came to dancing, he was really very bad. The warthogs started waltzing, and the rhinos rock and rolled. The lions danced a tango that was elegant and bold. The chimps all did a cha-cha with a very Latin feel, and 8 baboons then teamed up for a splendid Scottish reel. Gerald swallowed bravely as he walked toward the floor, but the lions saw him coming and they soon began to roar. "Hey, look at clumsy Gerald," the animals all sneered. "Giraffes can't dance, you silly fool. Oh, Gerald, you're so weird." Gerald simply froze up. He was rooted to the spot. "They're right," he thought. "I'm useless. Oh, I feel like such a clot." So he crept off from the dance floor and started walking home. He'd never felt so sad before. So sad and so alone. Then he found a little clearing and he looked up at the sky. "The moon can be so beautiful," he whispered with a sigh. "Excuse me," coughed a cricket, who'd seen Gerald earlier on, "but sometimes when you're different, you just need a different song." Listen to the swaying grass and listen to the trees. To me, the sweetest music is those branches in the breeze. So imagine that the lovely moon is playing just for you. Everything makes music if you really want it to. With that, the cricket smiled and picked up his violin. Then Gerald felt his body do the most amazing thing. His hooves had started shuffling, making circles on the ground. His neck was gently swaying, and his tail was swishing round. He threw his legs out sideways, and he swung them everywhere. Then he did a backward somersault and leapt up in the air. Gerald felt so wonderful. His mouth was open wide. "I am dancing! Yes, I'm dancing! I am dancing!" Gerald cried. Then, one by one, each animal, who'd been there at the dance, arrived while Gerald boogied on and watched him, quite entranced. They shouted, "It's a miracle! We must be in a dream. Gerald's the best dancer that we've ever seen." "How did you learn to dance like that? Please, Gerald, tell us how." But Gerald simply twirled around and finished with a bow. Then he raised his head and looked up at the moon and stars above. "We can all dance," he said, "when we find music that we love." So for this craft, you're going to need a blue piece of paper, a yellow piece of paper, a brown marker, a Sharpie, a paintbrush, a pair of scissors, a glue stick, and white paint. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my yellow paper and I'm going to cut out a couple shapes. I'm going to start on the corner of my paper and I'm going to cut up and stop, and then make a cut going the other way, and then finish it off. It almost looks like a pencil right here. This is going to be Gerald's neck, and we're going to glue it on the corner of our paper. Now we're going to cut out Gerald's head. It's sort of an oval shape, so we're going to start off by cutting out an oval. So now to make it look a little more like a giraffe's head, I'm going to start midway and I'm going to slim it down a little bit. So you can see I just made a curved line. And then at the top, I'm just going to trim it down a little bit more. And now I can glue Gerald's head on the paper as well. Now I'm going to take my scraps of yellow paper and I'm going to cut out 2 horns. So I'm going to start off by cutting a rectangle. And now I'm going to cut those in half. I'm going to trim them down a little bit. There, so now I'm going to glue on Gerald's horns. Now the last thing I'm going to cut out are Gerald's ears. So I'm going to cut sort of a leaf type shape. So you can see I cut out 2 ears. Now I'm going to glue them onto my paper. There, so now I've cut out all my pieces. I'm going to put all my scraps off to the side, and now I'm going to put some details on my Gerald. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brown marker and I'm going to make spots all over his neck. And you can see I kind of made my spot like a square. There, and now my Gerald has all his spots. Next, I'm going to take my black marker and I'm going to draw Gerald's face. For his eyes, I'm going to draw 2 lines. One here, and one here. Next, I'm going to give him 2 nostrils for his nose. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a smile on Gerald. Now I'm also going to take my brown marker and I'm going to fill in the top of his horns. And I'm also going to fill in his ears. And now our Gerald is almost done. Now the last thing we're going to do to finish this project is we're going to open up our white paint and take our paintbrush, and we are going to paint stars all in the background. So for an easy star, you can draw 1 line, and another to make it an X, and then put one right in the middle. So I'm going to do that all around my paper. And then I'm going to finish it off by just putting some dots. I hope you all enjoyed making today's craft and reading the book Giraffes Can't Dance. Thanks for watching!